Hi, Melissa. So, what is your what's your full name?
My name is Melissa Rieger.
Where are you from in South Africa, Melissa?
I am from Nelspruit in Mpumalanga province.
Yo, how long have you been in America now?
Since May of 2012, so I think that's a year and five
Gee
months.
whiz, so you got
5 months exactly
that's why
yesterday.
you've got an American accent already. I can hear it, eh?
I do.
You do have an American accent. Okay, Melissa, you know what inspired you to become an au pair? If we go back a year and 5 months ago, probably even more than that, when you first heard about the OVC or you decided to do this program, what was your idea of going overseas?
Well, first of all, I think I'm a kind of person who got tired of routine.
Yeah.
And I knew that once I graduated from high school, falling into that routine of studying and then settling and then having your life and a career, it wasn't something I was ready for yet. So I told my mom, hey, I think I want to be an au pair. My aunt told me about it. And so I started looking it up. And I have a great love for kids. And it's been there since I was little. So I thought, well, it's a good combination of having working with kids plus traveling plus seeing the world. And so I graduated high school and I just got on a plane and I started this thing. I think I had a good idea of what an au pair was, but I really didn't expect to deal with so many different things here. And I think I gained a lot of good, what we say, experiences that I could apply to life onward. So
Fantastic. How old are you now, may I ask?
I'm 20 years old.
Fantastic. No, great. And so, if what was the biggest, for example, the biggest eye opener for you when you arrived in the United States? You said there were so many things that popped up. The biggest eye opener in terms of being an au pair that you didn't expect.
Uh, hmm.
The workload.
I think, well, I had a really interesting story. In my year of 5 months, I've been with my third family.
Okay.
So it started off with me thinking, okay, as an 18-year-old, I could deal with four kids, right?
Right.
And they were a great family. I really liked them. But yeah, when you're 18 and you decide to take on such a big challenge, you don't really realize what it's really about until you jump in. You're like, all right, start. You're like, okay, I can do this for the first month, the second month, the third month. All right, it's getting a little more exhausting. So I think the workload, yeah. But then again, if you kind of have the right fit for you, so I moved to a family with two kids. That was perfect. I finished my year with two kids, and now I have one. So I kind of started really hard, and then I graduated to being more gradual so I could handle two kids at the best. And at the last family right now, it's been great. It's like I can give all my attention, everything I've learned with all the different experiences, all focused into one. So the workload, and then I think you come to America, and it's huge. It is so big, and you realize that we're just so small compared to the world out there. So that was a challenge to really see all the other different things that were out there that I never really imagined like that. So, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about, a lot of au pairs ask us how much money they're going to earn and is it enough to actually make ends meet? From your experience, I see you got a smile on your face, so you obviously spend lots of money. So, but realistically, the idea of getting free accommodation, free food, and tell me about your stipend, as they call it in the United States. Is it okay? Is it enough to live on? Can you have fun?
Well, you can have fun if you're not saving, by all means. I mean, you can do so many things in a week and have your whole stipend be gone at the end of the week. So I think if you just kind of have the discipline, if you want to save too, have the discipline of knowing how much to put away and spending whatever you have left, you can obviously do it because we don't have any obligations to pay for anything. We don't pay rent. We don't pay food. You pay your food when you go out for a weekend, for instance. So I think it's enough. Of course, everyone would appreciate more, just being honest. But I mean, it's enough to go by, to live by. And I've saved more than I thought I would, and I've bought a lot too. So in comparison, just having that balance, I think, is best if you want to live like, what is the word? Not luxuriously, but just good,
You live well. Gotcha.
Live
And
well, yes.
tell me about your studies. What did you decide to study while you were over there?
All right, so my first year, I decided to take a writer's class to write a novel, which I never finished. But I just don't have time. So I had a writer's class, and then I had a photography class, and I also learned how to speak the Hawaiian language because I didn't think there is a language in Hawaii, but there is. And so I learned that. And then in my second year, I started with a class in German, and I still need to complete 4 more credits, but those are basically it.
You haven't been home in 1 year and 5 months?
No, I have not gone home.
And your family not come and visited you or anything like that?
Nope.
And how do you communicate with your mum and dad? Via Skype once a week, or how does it work?
Skype works, and then I've also discovered this thing called Local Phone. It's basically an online voice over internet thing. So you have an account and you save a number, like your South African numbers, and it converts it to a US number, which makes it cheaper to call. For instance, for $15, I can speak to my family for an hour and a half, compared to a calling card that's $25, and you can only speak to them for 60 minutes. So I use that more often. It's easier to have it on my cell phone, and I can just call them directly. But Skype, emailing, Facebook, calling, WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. And okay, so going back now, with regards when you first arrived in the United States, what did you think of the company Au Pair Care? Were they quite organized when you arrived at the hotel in the United States? And basically carrying on the conversation to how they look after you at the moment. If you've got a problem, are they there to support you?
Well, they're very organized. They got us from the airport. We didn't have any confusion as to where we needed to go. Immediately when you get there, they bring you into a room and they tell you what are the things that are going to happen. They assign you a name and a number, like a color, and you're in different groups already. So they partner you in rooms too with au pairs in your area. So immediately you get to make friends who's going to be close by. That's really cool. And then also, they do take care of you. I mean, we all get assigned area directors. So once you have an issue or something, you can email them or call them and they get back to you and handle it with you. Also, once a month, we have the au pair meetings that are kind of mandatory. And that's where your area director gets a chance to touch base with you too, to find if everything's all right. But they check in a lot and you have to reply to emails. So I wouldn't say that you're left in the dark once you're here. Not at all.
Would you regard them as quite a professional company for a young person coming over who's 18 or 19? Do you think that parents can be well assured that Au Pair Care are a company that seriously take au pairs, put au pairs first?
Yes, I think so.
Fantastic. All right. Going right back to the day before you even started applying for an au pair, did you have to go and get extra childcare experience? Did you have to volunteer somewhere to help with regards your CV?
Yeah, we needed a minimum of 200 hours of experience taking care of children, whether it's in a preschool or babysitting or things like that. So I took my whole year, the final year in high school, and I spent my time working at a preschool, as well as babysitting for the neighbors and family all around and friends all around the neighborhood. So. And
did you get your license before you came over?
Yes, I did.
And are you driving a lot, Melissa?
Not right now, because I take care of a baby. My car is my feet and a stroller. But the previous families, I drove a lot, yes.
All right, and if you had to send out sort of a word of advice to any young people in your position sitting in South Africa right now and thinking of coming to the United States, is there something that you'd like to say to them?
I think first of all, the most important thing is that you really, really have to be passionate about kids, because apart from the traveling and apart from just being in America, that's your first and utmost, biggest responsibility that you can have, right? So if you want to be an au pair, I'd say you really have to love kids or else it's not going to work, because you spend most of your time with them. So if you don't really have that great of a passion and you're more into the traveling part, then the program would not be for that person. Because yeah, we travel, but that's a minimum, right? You get that at the end of your year, mostly the main parts of it. So yeah, you have to have patience. You have to really love kids. You have to be really open-minded and open to adapting to different things, because things aren't going to be the way that you would want it. So you have to face challenges and be able to kind of work through them instead of just giving up. And I think you have to be really strong too, because it's hard being away from your family, but you have to be open to accepting that it's only temporary. It's going to be a year, or if you extend in your extension time too, but you'll reunite with your family. So try and enjoy as much as you can while you're here.
You mentioned your travel time. Tell me a little bit about your travel time the first year.
In my first year, I went on vacation for the first week. So we get 2 weeks every year. So if you extend with 6 months, you get just a week. If you extend 9 to 12 months, you get another 2 weeks.
Right.
So my first year, I went to LA for a week, and I got to travel through California. And then just before my year ended, I went to San Diego again and a little bit of Mexico. And then I've been to, I lived on the East Coast before, so I've been in Washington, D.C. I went to Chicago recently. I have been to Texas. I've been to, like, Houston, Texas, to be precise. And then my host family has family in California, so I've been to California numerous times with them as well.
Gee whiz, that's fantastic, hey? So, if you look back on everything that you've done, would you do it again?
Yes, definitely.
And it's been, would you say, one of the most awesome experiences that you've had in your life?
It's been one of the most life-changing experiences. I've grown so much. I've learned how to deal with all these different challenges in your life. I've learned how to be very open-minded and really to try everything possible. So, yes, it's been one of the most greatest moments in my life.
If you had to look at yourself before you went as a person to where you are now, what would you say your biggest changes in your personality and in your outlook in life?
I am more accepting of people, and I am more outgoing. And I have like this craving of just going out there and exploring everything I can explore in life. And I think before that it was there, but I think coming here kind of put a magnifying glass over that and made it really huge.
The au pair care, when it comes to a situation where you've got a problem with the host family and it needs to be resolved, what happens? You phone them up, or does the family phone them up, and you all sit down around a coffee table and chat? How does the problem get resolved?
First, they would suggest we stick it out for 60 days, right? When you get here, you give yourself 2 months time to adjust, to get used to each other. If it doesn't work out then, what I did in my first year, my family and I, we kind of talked about it first because I thought that it was more a situation between us before we had to involve anyone higher. But after that, once you are on ground terms with your family and you know what both sides want, you would bring in the area director, and it's not really an in-person thing. They contact you more via the phone, over the phone or emails, and then they say, all right, you want a rematch, so you go back into the system. You have 2 weeks to find another family. If you find one in 2 weeks, then you move. If you don't, you have to return home. But in most cases, it works out because au pairs, in the beginning, I feel like you come here with a certain expectation, but it's so new that you're so overjoyed to be like, yeah, I'm going to come to America, but then maybe it doesn't work out because you didn't have a better fit. You could have had a better fit if you gave yourself more time. And then the second family usually works out. In most cases, au pairs with their first family works out too. I think it just, by the time you have to decide who you're going to go with, you really have to know them.
So what are your plans going forward, Melissa? You've been, are you going to extend for another 6 months?
You can only extend one time.
Okay.
So I've extended for 9 months, and my year is supposed to end February 6th.
But thank you so much for being so positive. It's really nice to meet a person who's just so happy to be where they are. Lekker, man.
Thank you.
All right, Melissa. Lovely to meet you. All the best.
Thanks. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.